Okay, I think we have everyone who's joined. We'll get started with the prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं कृष्णचैतन्यमीश्वरं नमामि विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्दा श्री अद्वैता गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्दा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Thank you all so much for joining us. And we are in the section of Kunti Stuti, which is chapter 8, the prayers of Queen Kunti. So we saw that Krishna was ready to leave for Dwarka, and at that time multiple people stopped him. First and foremost thing, we saw how Arjun, he saw this Brahmastra that was released by Ashwatthama, and he called out to Krishna for help. Later, Uttara calls out for help. And after all this, Kunti and Uttara, Draupadi, all of them, they come forward and they want to thank the Lord and they want to offer prayers to the Lord. So they stop him, and that is when Kunti Maharani, she begins offering her prayers. So these prayers of Kunti Maharani are highly celebrated. It is full of meaning and full of realizations from a motherly person like Kunti, who knew the supremacy of the Lord. At the same time, she saw Krishna as her own nephew. So in that mood, she was offering prayers. And the prayers, they begin from verse number 18 with Kunti Uvacha Namasye Purusham Tvadyam. So we saw how Kunti Maharani, she identifies that he is indeed the Supreme Lord, and he is existing within and without everything. Meaning, she was praying to the Lord, and she was telling the Lord that you are within and without, you are beyond this material manifestation, but still by your own internal potency, you protected the womb of Uttara. And she says that fools cannot understand you. Why? Because of Maya Javanika Channam, Ajnana Dhukshajam Avyayam, Na Lakshyase Mudadrisha Nato Natyadaro Yatha. Fools, they are not identifying you. They are mistaking you, just like how a person, an innocent person, doesn't understand that the player on the stage is not the real character. So a foolish observer gets bewildered. Like that, they are many fools who fail to understand your descent. And she says, but only very realized souls like Paramahamsas, Munis, Amalatmas, they are all trying to find you through the process of Bhakti Yoga. But who am I? I am, after all, an ordinary woman who doesn't have exposure to all this. Then, Katam Pashyemahi Striyaha, I am an ordinary woman, how will I understand you? But then she consoles herself. She says, but still, you are related to me. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya cha Nanda Gopaf Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. So she says that you are Vasudeva, which means you are the son of Vasudeva. Vasudeva is my brother. So you're my nephew. You're the little child of Devaki. You're also the son, the Kumar of Nanda Gopa. You've come to this world. You were like an ordinary cowherd boy, very accessible as Govinda. So she calls him in various ways and she says, at the end of the day, you're my relative. So I'm very pacified that I can somehow or the other relate to you. And then she begins, she wants to offer some prayers, but she's in this Vatsalya Rasa. She doesn't start from the feet. She begins from the navel. Namah Pankajanabhaya, Namah Pankajamaline, Namah Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangrehe. The Lord is an abode of lotuses. Everything about the Lord is extremely beautiful, like the lotus flower. So why lotus flower? Our material mind, we can only conceive certain things as beautiful. That is our frame of reference. So the things that is beautiful in this world, we are trying to compare with the Lord. But then the Lord is beyond the any mundane beauty. His beauty is beyond you can think of what you can think of. The lotus flower is no comparison for the beauty of the Lord. Sometimes we say the Lord is Megha Shyam. He is like the color of the clouds, but the color of the clouds cannot fail. It doesn't truly describe the color of Krishna. It fails in front of the color of Krishna. But in this material world, there are a few things in our perception, and only with that frame of reference, we are able to glorify the Lord. So that is our shortcoming. And then she says, see, I am actually more fortunate than even Devaki. Maybe Devaki gave birth to you, but then actually I am truly fortunate. Why? She says, Yata Hrishikeshana Khalena Devaki Kamsena Rudharchitam Sucharpita. She says, when Kamsa was torturing Devaki by killing her sons, Krishna couldn't do much. He appeared only after the first few sons were killed. But then she is thinking that she is very fortunate because her children were saved from a series of calamities personally by Krishna. Krishna was personally present to help her in many, many circumstances. So in verse number 24, she lists the different circumstances in which Krishna came and protected them. She says, Vishan Mahagne Purushada Darshanat Asat Sabhaya Vanavasa Krichrata Mride Mride Aneka Maharathas Astro Drauni Astratas Chasma Hare Adhirakshita. So many incidents, beginning with Vishan, the poisoned cake given to Bhim from the great fire of the Lakh Palace, from cannibals like Bakasura and Hidimba, from the vicious assembly, the Kurusabha, the Asat Sabha, Kurusabha, the sufferings during their exile, the great battle of Kurukshetra, and even the weapon of Drauni, who's Ashwatthama. So she lists in various circumstances, Krishna was present there and he was able to offer help. And after she lists all this, she speaks the most famous verse, Vipada Santu Sashvat, Tatra Tatra Jagat Guru Bhavato Darshanam Yatsyat Apunar Bhavadarshanam. I hope you all have tried memorizing this verse. I believe it is there for memorization. Did you all take turns last Tuesday? Sorry, I was not in the class. Can someone tell me what happened last Tuesday? Did you take turns to memorize this verse? Am I
Yes,
audible?
Mataji. Yes, Mataji, you're audible. Hare Krishna. We all were given chances to recite it.
Very,
Three of us did for each slokas last time. The important slokas.
very important sloka. So you finished Vipada Santota session. This is a very beautiful verse where Kunti Maharani, she's one person in the entire Bhagavatam who says, give me the difficulties again and again. We would dare not pray like Kunti Maharani, but Kunti Maharani is such a surrendered devotee. She's telling, give me those difficulties more and more. That way I can always remember you. She lists all the difficulties. She lists all the problems that she went through. And she says, it's okay, let all those difficulties come again, because that way we can get to see you. Okay, so I think she stopped at 25. Should I start from 26 or 27? Anyone knows?
26,
Okay.
Mataji.
27,
Huh?
Mataji. We have to start at 27.
27. Okay. So then
26,
after
right? Because I have notes until 25, not 26.
Okay. So then Janmaishwarya Shruta Shribhir, you did that? Edaman Madappuman, very famous verse. Naiva Harti
No,
Abhidhatum
Mataji, I didn't cover that. You have to cover this.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, Tida's on the call, then why am I asking everyone? Okay, sorry, I didn't see you. Yeah, okay. Cool, fine. Okay, Janma Ishwarya Shruta Shribhir. So we will start with this. Thank you, Devendra Govinda Prabhu, and thank you, Kirtida Mataji. We'll start. Mataji, this is not there for memorization, right? Janma Ishwarya Shruta Shribhir?
No, I don't think so. Somebody can confirm.
The next one is for
26 looks like
26 is memorization.
memorization, no?
Yeah. 26 is memorization.
it's
Mataji,
there. Can someone tell?
You have it?
Sorry, I'm
That's all right.
yeah, 1826 is there for memorization. Thank you. 1825 and 26 is there, then 42. Okay. So anyone would like to repeat? Yeah, Narahari Prabhuji. I think you can directly chant. Why do you have to repeat? You would like to chant, Prabhu?
With your permission, Mataji.
Sure, sure.
Janmaishwarya Shruta Shribir Edamana Madah Puman Naivarhati Abhidhatum Vai Tvam Kinchana Gocharam.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Shyam Gopal Prabhu.
Jalmasvarya Shrutar Srivir Edamana Madha Puman Naivartya Vidantu Vai Tvam Akinchana Gocharam.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Anyone else wants to chant? Okay. Janma Ishwarya Shruta Shribhir. Janma is birth, high birth. Aishwarya, lot of wealth, opulence. Shruta means education or pandityam, Shruta. Shri is, it can mean in this context beauty. Okay, lot of beauty is Shri. Shri can also mean wealth, but in this context, if you see, wealth is already mentioned as Aishwarya. So, Janma, high birth, lot of wealth, Aishwarya, Shruta, great learning, Shri, beauty, Shribhi, Edamana Madhapuman. Mother means what? Intoxicated person, a mad person, pretty much, or a person who is very, very proud. That is a mother. Edamana Madha. That means Edamana means to just progressively keep increasing. Madhapuman, Pumsa, Puman, all this means a person or a human being or a man. Puman, Pumsa, Purusha, all these mean the same. So, for a person, when Janma, Aishwarya, Shruti, and Shri are all high, then what happens? He becomes very intoxicated. He becomes intoxicated and proud because of these opulences that he has developed. So, the verse says, Na eva arhati abhidhatum vai tvam akinchana gocharam. So, Kunti Maharani is telling that these great qualities of high parentage, great opulence, education, bodily beauty, when a person has too much of this, in the path of material progress, he's becoming very proud, and therefore he can never approach you with a sincere feeling. You can be easily approached only by a person who is akinchana gocharam. So what is the meaning of you can be approached by a person who is akinchana because you are akinchana gocharam. Krishna is called as akinchana gochara. Gochara means a maintainer. Okay, so akinchana gochara means he's a gochara for an akinchana. Only if a person is akinchana, then he can approach Krishna with a sincere feeling. But if he has all these things like Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, and Shri, then what happens? He becomes very, very puffed up and he cannot approach you with a sincere feeling. So, this is what Kunti Maharani is telling. She says, my dear Lord, your lordship can easily be approached, but only by those who are materially exhausted. One who is on the path of material progress, trying to improve himself with respectable parentage, great opulence, high education, and bodily beauty, cannot approach you with a sincere feeling. What is the meaning of akinchana? Kinchana means something. Akinchana means he has nothing. Okay, so to surrender to the Lord, it is mentioned that you should have two qualities. One is called as akinchanatvam. That means I don't have anything. The minute you start thinking that you have something, then it is very difficult to surrender because you feel that you can handle it yourself. So a person should be impoverished. He should understand I'm helpless. I don't have anyone. Oh Krishna, you're my only maintainer. And the other quality for a surrendered person is ananyagatitvam. Ananyagatitva means you should go only to Krishna. You should not think that I'll have a backup plan. If I'll tell Krishna, I will also tell a few other demigods. That should not be the idea. Ananyagatitvam. Only Krishna. Our bhakti should be Ananya Bhakti. So our full dependence should be on Krishna. And the mood of the dependence should be like, I don't have anything. What do I have? Do I have birth? Do I have opulence? Do I have education? I don't have beauty. I have nothing. I only and only depend on Krishna's mercy. So such a person is called as akinchana. And Krishna is the one who takes care of the akinchana. So he is called as akinchana gocharam. So why is Kunti Maharani telling all this now? Kunti Maharani, just in the previous verse, she told about how she would like to have these calamities again and again. When you have many calamities, you come to the realization that ultimately nothing is in your control. You become fully surrendered to Krishna. Okay, at the time of calamities. That is when you understand what Krishna's protection is. And you realize you really don't have anything under your control. So she's telling, unless we become like that, unless we realize that nothing is in our control, unless we realize this Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Shribir, nothing is going to come to our protection. Unless we become akinchana, we cannot truly surrender. She has that realization. That's why she's telling the Lord, actually, nobody can approach you with all these material qualities, because once there are material qualities like this, a person becomes very, very puffed up. They cannot sincerely surrender unto you. But then a person who has exhausted all this, he is the one who can truly surrender unto you. So let's see what Prabhupada has to say in the purport. He says, being materially advanced means taking birth in high family, having a lot of wealth, having education, being attractive, and having personal beauty. And materialistic men in general are mad about possessing these material opulences. They are thinking this is advancement of material civilization. But the result is that by possessing these material assets, what happens? One becomes artificially puffed up. Actually, nothing belongs to us. But then we become artificially puffed up and we become intoxicated by temporary possessions. These possessions are not going to stay with us forever. How long does beauty stay? How long does wealth stay? 1 minute you're a millionaire, next day you're a pauper. This happens to so many people. Are we going to stay beautiful forever? It's not possible. Once we are aged, we have gray hair, we have wrinkles, and our faces change. It is not the same always. So a materially puffed up person cannot truly utter the holy name of the Lord with all sincerity, with all feeling, because he thinks he has everything. Why should I look up to God? That is the feeling that he has. It is said in the Shastras, however, that if you can say the holy name of the Lord just once, very, very sincerely, like Ajamil did, with a lot of feeling, if you can just say the holy name once, you can get rid of huge quantities of sins that you are even unable to commit. That is the power of the holy name. And there is no exaggeration. And this is not Arthavad. It's not an exaggeration. If you really call out to the holy names of the Lord with true sincerity, you can burn sins that you cannot even commit. So that is the potency of the holy names. And what does all this depend on? It depends on the sincere feeling, how you call. See, we are also chanting the holy names, but how many of us are really chanting with sincere feeling? We are just doing it like a lip exercise, right? That's all we are doing. But then this all depends on the quality of the feeling, Srila Prabhupada says. He says only a helpless man can truly utter the name with sincere feeling. And a person who has too much material satisfaction, he cannot be so sincere. He becomes materially puffed up. Therefore, these principles of advancement, which is high parentage, good wealth, high education, attractive beauty, they become disqualifications in progress of spiritual advancement. They become, like, for example, think about some examples. High parentage. If one is born in a Brahmin family, for example, they become very puffed up. Oh, I'm a Brahmin after all. Like the Brahmanas who were performing the yajna, Krishna went and asked for some prasadam. But the Brahmana Patnis, the Yajna Patnis, they were very humble. The Brahmanas were thinking, oh, we are great Brahmanas, we are performing big yajnas. Sometimes high parentage can actually become a source of downfall. We might become very proud. Think about good wealth. The sons of Kuvera, they had great wealth. They both, they were, uh, they became so proud, they were intoxicated, they were bathing without clothes, and they did not even respect Narada Muni. They ended up in Vaishnava Aparat. But then Narada Muni was very, very compassionate. By cursing them, he favored them. So with lot of wealth, actually there's one purport of Srila Prabhupada writing about Nalakuvara and Manigriva, that the source of all their problems was that excessive wealth. Once a person has too much wealth, Narada Muni is thinking, I wish them not to have any money. It is better to be a pauper. That way, a person becomes very dedicated to the Lord. There's too much wealth is a problem. Narada Muni thinks. He's thinking. There's the thinking of Narada Muni in a few verses of Srimad Bhagavatam about how this wealth can become a big impediment in the progress of devotional service. High education. Anyone can think of high education examples where one becomes very proud? I can think of some examples from Chaitanya Leela, actually. There was Keshava Kashmiri, for example. He was very, very proud. But then Mahaprabhu actually brought him to the right direction. Attractive beauty. Can you think of anyone with attractive beauty? Why nobody's interacting today? Am I doing something wrong?
No, Mataji.
Okay.
We just don't have answers.
Maybe the Apsaras, yeah, the Apsaras who cursed Ashtavakra. This Ashtavakra Muni was, sorry, the Apsaras who made fun of Ashtavakra, not cursed, they got cursed. So, like that, when you're very beautiful, also, you become very proud. Oh, who is this person? And we start making fun of others, right? So, like that, all these become impediments in the path of progression. Yes, Satyam Prabhu, do you want to say something? Can you give examples?
Yes, Mataji. So even when you say like someone feels very intelligent, even like
Shruta.
Brahmaji also, that Brahma
Yes.
Vimohan Leela, like she felt like I'm the most who is this little boy?
Correct.
And,
Correct. He's thinking, oh, I'm Brahma. I know everything. Who is this little boy? Yes, Prabhu, fantastic example.
Mataji, can I interact a little bit? If you
Yes.
I have a question, Mataji. Actually, Prabhupada also says that when you do good bhakti and good punyas, then you're given a life with all these good family, good wealth, wherein you can actually improve. That is another thing that we know. If somebody is doing good bhakti, and then the next birth, they're usually given in a good Brahmana family where all these wealth and everything is available, and from there you can get better. Is one version of.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do we balance these two? How do you get to understand these two, Mataji? We know if you have that, we get puffed up. But it is when by your good deeds only you actually get into a good Brahmana family, then a good education and everything good happens because of your bhakti part portion and good things only. But then if the
Yes.
same thing, yeah, if the same thing can be otherwise, then how do we look at this concept, Mataji?
Ruchiman Srimadangehe, right? With Bhagavad Gita, Sushinam
Yes.
Srimadangehe. So you can, when you get birth in a pious family, your Krishna consciousness begins at an early age itself. Okay, so that way there is a footing for you to start off nicely. If you're taking birth in a pious family, and Srimatam there means your basic needs are covered. You don't have to fight for food and shelter and all that. If all that is covered, then the mind can easily focus on Krishna consciousness. So that is the idea. But the point is, too much of anything can make you puffed up. Okay, so when you get attached to too much of anything, when you get attached to the concept that, oh, I'm a great Brahmana, I have so much wealth, I have so much education, when you get attached to these so-called material qualifications, then there is a trouble. But to cover your basics, it will help you focus on Krishna better. Yes, Tulsi Gopi Mataji, would you like to add?
Yes, Mataji, I was remembering a quote that our Guru Maharaj once said, or quote, or actually in a private darshan, he told my Prabhu, was that to whom much is given, much is expected. So if you have high birth, then there is also, if you become a king or whatever, there is also high responsibility.
Responsibility.
And because
yes.
of that, if we do mistakes, we also get huge karma, and then we can get cursed and fall down and everything. So while everything looks good that someone got high birth, yes, it's you're favorably disposed to get good knowledge, good culture, and good learning, and so that you don't do sinful activities, you act according to shastras. But because much is expected of you, and not that you just enjoy, be entitled and enjoy the benefits, but then there's much more responsibility there, and therefore this risk that they will be puffed up and they cannot approach with feelings.
Correct. Very nice. So nice. So nice. With power comes responsibility, right? Maharaj always says you will have the responsibility, and the more mistakes you do, the more accountable. Actually, the more accountable you are with that responsibility. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, Mataji. That's so
Thank you,
good.
Mataji. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Shama Gopal Prabhu.
So I think in the example, right, for intelligence, the Kumaras, 4 Kumaras who cursed Jaya Vijaya, right?
Yes.
They were popped up because of their intelligence. And
Yes.
also in the way Jaya Vijaya also, right? Because they were popped up because they were the
Associates with the
guards,
Lord. Yeah.
right? So both were.
Both
So they
ways.
were like, both way it was like, and I think in the case of Ashwini Kumars also when they drank that Somarasa, right? So that is also can be they are puffed up because they were like such a great physicians or I
Correct.
think doctors, right? And the person who
Yes.
gave them Somarasa, right? What was the name of that?
Vishwarupa. Vishwarupa, is it?
Chaivanya. So,
Chavanamun. Oh, that
Yeah.
one. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That story. Yes, Chavana.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
movie.
Yeah.
And also the Nala
Kanya
Damayanti
story.
also, right? It is, I think somewhere it is mentioned in the Bhagavatam. I had read like some part of the Bhagavatam. So Nala and Damayanti both were very beautiful. right? And
Yes.
love story was really very famous.
Mm.
Many of the movies are made on that, I think, most of Bollywood. But in a way, but I think he was also, because of his beauty, he was so handsome. He was
Yes.
also cursed, right?
Yeah, he was also cursed and he became a hunchback, and nobody could identify him also. Yeah, even except for his wife finally identified him. Yes, you're right.
Right. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Very nice, very, very nice, Prabhu. Thank you for those additions. And I see one more raised hand. I'm trying to open the participant list. Saudamani Mataji, yeah.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, I can remember the names of Nalkuber and Manigriv. They were having high birth and then beauty, opulence, everything. They were
Actually, they
puffed
had
up.
everything. Yes.
Yes,
They had almost everything that we're talking about.
yes, Mataji. Janmaishwarya, Shruta, Shribhir, everything they had.
Very nice. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. Okay. So the idea is that all this becomes disqualification in the path of spiritual advancement. And we should understand, see how nicely Prabhupada says, the material covering of the pure spirit soul is an external feature, as much as fever is an external feature of an unhealthy body. So nice. That means our body is just an external covering for the spirit soul, as much as fever is an external feature of an unhealthy body. So, what should we do? The general process is to decrease the degree of fever and not aggravated by maltreatment. So, we should try to reduce. We should try to reduce. We should not aggravate it. And that's why sometimes spiritually advanced people, they become materially impoverished, and the Lord itself sometimes orchestrates it. Sometimes suddenly he will remove all the wealth and everything from that person, and that person forcibly becomes akinchana. I don't have anything. Now I have to surrender unto you. So Prabhupada is telling such impoverishment is a good sign, as much as falling temperature is a good sign. So if for a diseased body, falling temperature is a good sign. Similarly, this external high temperature of having these qualities, if it reduces, it is a good sign for a spiritual advancement. So the principle of life should be to decrease. We have to decrease this material intoxication, and we should become more and more, fixed in the aim of life and remove this illusion. So like this, people who are filled with illusion, they cannot enter the kingdom of God. I'm just seeing some chat messages. It's taking a little time for me to load. So just give me a. Daksha got puffed up. Very nice. And committed an offense against Shiva and Mother Sati. Wow, very nice. Indradev also. Yeah, fantastic examples. Very nice. Thank you so much. Okay, so Janma Ishwarya Shruta Shrivi, and you are Akinchana Gochara. So a person has to be materially impoverished. So that's why in the next verse, she calls Krishna, my obeisances unto you who are the property of the materially impoverished. Namo Akinchana Vrittaya, she calls Krishna. Okay, it's a continuation. If you see the prayers, they have a nice flow to it. So she says in text 27, Namo Akinchana Vrittaya Nivritta Gunavrittaye Atma Ramaya Shantaya Kaivalya Pataye Nama. Translation, anybody?
Hare Krishna Mataji Dandavat Pranam.
Very well.
My obeisances are unto you who are the property of the materially impoverished. You have nothing to do with the actions and reactions of the material modes of nature. You are self-satisfied, and therefore you are the most gentle and are master of the monists. Hare Krishna, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Very well. So he's called as Akinchana Vrittaya. That means he takes care of the Akinchanas. Okay, people who don't have anything. He's the property of the materially impoverished. So she is offering respects to him. Not only that, he's Nivritta Guna Vrittaye. He's transcendental to the modes of material nature. Atma Ramaya. He's very self-satisfied. and Shantaya. He's very peaceful, he's self-satisfied. He takes care of the devotees, but for the people who are not Krishna conscious or who do not want to accept him, he is very neutral. He's very self-satisfied in himself, and he's not agitated, he's not angered, he's Shanta by their actions. Kaivalya Pataye Nama. For the people who are desiring liberation, he encourages them. So he is Atmarama and Shanta for those who are against the process of Krishna consciousness or those who do not accept God. He is Kaivalya Pata for the persons who are trying for liberation. He is encouraging them. And for those who are impoverished, he is personally maintaining them. Namo Akinchana Vrittaya Nivritta Guna Vrittaye. Though he is transcendental, he is taking care of all his devotees. Atma Ramaya Shantaya. He is very neutral to the rest of them. And Kaivalya Padaye Namaha. For those who are after liberation, he is also being their master. So my obeisances unto you, who are the property of the materially impoverished. You have nothing to do with the actions and reactions of the material modes of nature. You are self-satisfied. Therefore, you are the most gentle, you are Shanta, and you are the master of the monists. So Prabhupada, he says, a living being is finished as soon as there's nothing to possess. So actually, what do we possess? We do not possess anything at all. Whatever we have, we think we are possessing it, but ultimately everything is possessed by the Supreme Lord. What to talk of the things of this world? Even we are possessed by the Supreme Lord. We can't even claim ownership of the soul. We are the soul, we can't claim ownership of ourselves because ultimately we belong to the Lord. So what can we truly possess? Actually, we cannot possess anything. A living being renounces something for gaining something more valuable, just like how a student sometimes sacrifices his childish proclivities to gain better education. Sometimes we give up one job to get a better job. Sometimes the devotee renounces the material world not for nothing, but for something tangible, which is the spiritual life. So Srila Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, all of them, what did they do? They gave up their pomp and prosperity, not so that they can get more pomp and prosperity elsewhere. Rather, they gave it up for the service of the Lord. So they were truly the big men. They are the true big men. They gave up worldly life to gain something much higher, which is spiritual life. Our Dhruva Maharaj, he performed austerities so that he can get a kingdom which is greater than what his great grandfather was having, which is Brahma. He wanted a kingdom greater than that. But then, when he saw the highest of everything, when he saw the Supreme Lord face to face, he was thinking, I was going after broken pieces of glass. So the Goswamis, what was their life? They were ministers in the government service of Bengal. Raghunath Das Goswami was the son of a big zamindar at that time. But then they gave up everything so that they can get something far superior. Similarly, the devotees, generally, you see many devotees, they are without material prosperity. But then they have a very secret treasure house. What is that treasure house? It is the lotus feet of the Lord. And Prabhupada mentions the story of Srila Sanatan Goswami. You all know Sanatan Goswami and the touchstone story, right? So Sanatan Goswami, once he had a touchstone. Where did he put that touchstone? He put it in a pile of rubbish, in a pile of refuse. And once there was a needy man who had come and he saw that there was a valuable stone, a valuable touchstone kept in a neglected place. So he wanted to take possession of it. And Sanatan Goswami was like, okay, take it, no problem. Then later that man came back and he asked Sanatan Goswami, how come you don't seem to have any affection for that touchstone? What is it that you have? Maybe you have something much higher. That's why you're not caring for this touchstone. And that is when Sanatan Goswami teaches him that it is actually the chanting the holy names that is actually the most powerful thing and the most treasurable thing in this entire world. So he gives the holy name of the Lord. So this is the highest treasure, okay, for devotees. So what are devotees doing? They are giving up material things to attain love for Krishna. So akinchana means one who has nothing to give materially. They should not have anything. Once you think you have something, then you consider yourself to be the proprietor, yourself to be the possessor, and then there are so many airs about it. You're thinking, I have this, I have that, and you cannot surrender sincerely. So a factual devotee or a Mahatma does not give anything material to anyone because he has already left all material assets. If you go, like for example, people would ask Prabhupada, Swamiji, give me blessing. And what is the blessing Prabhupada would give? He would always bless that you should give up, you should become materially impoverished and you should become a devotee. That is the kind of blessings Prabhupada would give. So the touchstone of Sanatan Goswami was thrown into rubbish. It was not the property of the Goswami. Otherwise, he would have kept it in a nice place. He knows very well that everything belongs to Krishna, right? So the specific example is given for the neophyte devotee to convince him that material hankerings and spiritual advancement go ill together. They never go together. Material advancement and spiritual advancement, they don't go well together. Once we focus on spiritual advancement, it is natural that your interest in material advancement decreases. So unless we see everything as spiritual in relation to the Supreme Lord, we cannot advance spiritually. So this is about Srila Sanatan Goswami. And Prabhupada is telling too much advancement in material civilization is a stumbling block in our spiritual advancement. And material advancement is called as anartha, or that which is not wanted. Artha means that which is desirable. Anartha means that which is not wanted. So too much material advancement is not something you may want. He says, in the present context, this is interesting. He says a lot of material advancement, one loses lipstick at the cost of 50 cents, and there are so many unwanted things which are all products of material conception of life. By diverting attention to so many unwanted things, human energy is spoiled without achievement of spiritual realization, which is the true necessity of human life. So we are unnecessarily creating more and more problems of life by trying to become more and more materially comfortable. So devotees are called akinchanas. Why? Because practically they don't have any material assets. That's why they are akinchanas. And he talks about the Supreme Lord as well. He says the Supreme Lord, he doesn't have any direct connection with all the material activities. Nivritta, you see that verse. First he talks about, if you watch the verse, first is Namo Akinchana Vrittaya. He talks about how devotees are Akinchana. Secondly, he talks about how the Lord is Nivritta Guna Vrittaye. That means he is beyond this material manifestation, and he also has nothing to do with this material world. He has no direct connection with the material activities. And he is beyond the modes of material nature. And in Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says that Janma Karma Chame Divyam Evam Yo Veti Tattvataha. I am transcendental, and he has no hankering for anything of this world. Okay, so that is the nature of the Lord. The Lord and the devotees, both of them are actually Nivritta Gunavritti. Both of them are beyond the modes of material nature. But Supreme Lord is always like this, Nivritta Gunavritti. But the living entities, sometimes we have this tendency. That's why we are called as Tatastha Shakti. Sometimes we are entrapped by this illusory energy. So it happens to us. Because the Lord is the property of the devotees and the devotees are the property of the Lord reciprocally, the devotees are transcendental to the modes of material nature. Once we become a devotee who's very dear to the Lord, then we can also become Nivritta Gunavritti. But otherwise, we are Tatastha Shakti. We have a natural tendency to associate with the material world. But once we understand that our true connection is with Krishna, then we can also become like him qualitatively. This is the natural conclusion. So, Unalloyed devotees are different from mixed devotees. Mixed devotees, what do? Mishra Bhaktas, they approach the Lord to mitigate their material problems so that they can become more and more comfortable in this world. We see even when we came to Krishna consciousness initial days, we would go to Krishna to solve our material problems. That was the tendency in the initial days. Then slowly, it didn't happen overnight, but very gradually, over many years, what happened? When we go to Krishna, we don't ask for things that are material. We are just wanting to do service to Krishna. Slowly, gradually, we come out of that feeling that Krishna has to solve our material problems. From Mishra Bhaktas, very, very gradually, we are trying to become Shuddha Bhaktas. Right? It's everybody's journey. So, and Krishna, he's always taking care of the devotees. He's always attached to the devotees. But then for others who don't have much to do with the Lord, he remains neutral. So he's called as Atmarama. He's self-satisfied. He's not bothering himself with those devotees. And there are other people who are like the monists, Kaivalyavadis. They are all trying to merge with the Lord. For such Kaivalyavadis, he's their Lord, meaning he is the one from whom Brahman effulgence is emanating. He's the source of the Brahma Jyoti. So ultimately, he is the one who's awarding even them liberation. Okay, so like this, he's taking care of everybody. He's taking care of the devotees personally. He's being neutral to those who are neutral to him. At the same time, he's also taking care of the monists, because ultimately the Brahma Jyotis is something that is emanating from the Lord. But however, devotees don't want Brahma Jyoti. They only want to participate in the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. Okay, so she glorifies him like that. And then let's see what she says next. Manye tvam kalameshanam manadi nidhanam vibhum samam charantam sarvatra bhutanam yanmita khali. Translation, anyone would like to read?
Hare Krishna. My Lord, I consider your Lordship to be eternal time, the supreme controller, without beginning and end, the all-pervasive one. In distributing your mercy, you are equal to everyone. The dissensions between living beings are due to social intercourse. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Ji. So she says about how Krishna maintains all the devotees. He is neutral to those who don't have to do much with him. At the same time, he's the master of the monists. So she talks about different facets of Krishna's maintaining capabilities. But she also says, my dear Lord, I know that you are indeed the supreme. You are Kala, you are the eternal time, you are the supreme controller, you don't have a beginning, you don't have an end, you are all pervasive, you're taking care of this material manifestation perfectly. And though you're doing everything, you're always samam. Samam means you're always equal to everybody. Ultimately, Krishna, yes, he reciprocates with his devotee in a special way, but still Krishna is equal to everybody. And if there are any differences between living entities, it is only because of the social conditions of this material world. But you do not see differences. You are equal to everybody, though you are time personified. You are the beginning, Anadi Nidhanam. You are one without a beginning and one without an end, and you are the source of everything. You're all pervading. Still, you're always equally merciful. So she continues to glorify him. And we know Kunti Devi, she knew that Krishna was neither her nephew nor an ordinary family member in her house. She knew very well that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead and he's the super soul in everyone's heart. Of course, she saw him as her nephew, but at the same time, she knew his identity. She knew very well that he is Samam. He is equal to all living entities. Why? Because he's the Paramatma in everyone's heart. And this Paramatma, another feature of the Paramatma, another feature of the Lord is also Kala, which is the eternal time. The same Paramatma is the eternal time. Krishna is Kala, Kalosmiyam, Krishna says. So he is eternal time. He is witnessing all our actions. He knows what we are doing every second, our thoughts, our physical activities, everything he's witnessing. He knows our good actions, bad actions, resultant actions, everything he knows because he is ultimately time personified. He's the Paramatma in our heart. So Prabhupada says sometimes we may forget the misdeeds that we are doing and why we are suffering at the present moment, but we must remember that the Paramatma has been there with us as a constant companion since so many births, and he knows everything. He knows why you're suffering today because he knows our past, he knows our present, and he also knows our future. So Paramatma feature is also a feature of Lord Krishna, and he knows the actions and reactions of every single living entity. In fact, without the Paramatma's sanction, even a blade of grass cannot move. That is how the Paramatma is involved in every second of every living entity. And we living entities, we all have some free will, right? We are given some freedom, and by the misuse of our freedom, we are taking good and bad decisions, and because of that, we are enjoying or we are suffering. So everything is witnessed by the Supreme Lord. Though we are creating karma because of our actions, the witness is the Paramatma. So this Kala or Krishna offers the conditioned soul both happiness and miseries. And it is all controlled ultimately by the Supreme Lord, but we are responsible for our actions. So that's what Prabhupada is telling. And he says, Krishna is neither your enemy nor friend. He's very, very neutral, and everybody is suffering only as a result of one's own destiny. And this destiny is made by the living entities in the course of social intercourse, in course of time. In the social setting, we are creating good and bad karma, and because of that, we are suffering. Everyone wants to lord our material nature. We are all carving the path of our destiny under the supervision of the Supreme Lord. So he is everywhere. He is Vibhum. He is spread everywhere. He is present in the heart as Paramatma. He is also time personified. He's seeing all our activities. And because he doesn't have any beginning or end, he has no source, no beginning, meaning there's no time when Krishna appeared or something like that. He's always been there. He's also known as eternal or Kala. So she glorifies him as the beginning. She glorifies him as Kala. She glorifies him as Anadi, who has no beginning. She glorifies him as Vibhu, who is all pervasive. She glorifies him as Samam, equal. So these are all different qualities of the Paramatma. Okay. So she understands Krishna is watching over everything, though he's not affected by anything. Next, she talks about though Krishna is eternal, though Krishna is Kala, though Krishna is he spread himself everywhere, though he is present as Paramatma, still he comes down and he performs pastimes. Though he is the source of everything, he is the end of everything, still that Supreme Lord, he also comes as a person and he performs pastimes. So for that, in text number 29, she says that sometimes you even come as a human being and you just perform pastimes. Actually, you are like that Paramatma. You don't have any envy or any favor to anyone, but still people imagine that you are envious. This is the nature of the people who are envisioning you. You don't have any envy or partiality. Even if you come here and perform pastimes, still you don't have such qualities. But people who are watching you, they are imagining that you are partial. So that is this verse. And Naved kaschit bhagavanshikishitam तवेहमानस्य नृणां विडम्बनं न यस्य कश्चिदहितोऽस्ति कर्हि चेत् द्वेषश्च यस्मिन् विषमा मतिर्नृणाम्. Translation, anyone wants to read?
27 class. 29.
Go ahead,
29.
Mataji. Padmini Mataji, want to read?
Yes, yeah. O Lord, no one can understand your transcendental pastimes, which appear to be human and so are misleading. You have no specific object of favor, nor do you have any object of envy. People only imagine that you are partial.
So no one can understand your transcendental pastimes. You come here, you perform transcendental pastimes, but no one can truly understand that. It may appear like human activities, but you're always transcendental. And even when you're performing pastimes, you don't have any specific object of favor or object of envy. People only imagine that maybe you're partial. And to talk about this, Prabhupada, he talks about the sun's rays. It's a very beautiful purport and a beautiful analogy, Prabhupada says. So he says, actually, the Lord's mercy is equal. See, when it rains, sometimes it rains even on the ocean, it can rain on the farmland, it can rain in the city, it can rain in the village. Generally, it is equally distributed. Okay, the ocean doesn't need water. But still, the rain is not partial. It just rains neutrally in every place. Similarly, think of the example of the sun. The sun is never partial to anyone. So the sun always rises and it gives sunlight to everyone. But sometimes what happens is a blind man will not be able to see the sun. Okay, the Chakravaka birds, they become very, very happy when they see the sun. So one person is not able to perceive the sun. Another group of living entities, they are very, very happy to see the sun. There could be thieves and demons, no, not demons, maybe thieves, okay? There could be thieves and owls, basically. Owls, they don't like the sunlight. When they see the sun, they become very sad. But is it the fault of the sun? The sun is always neutral. The way we perceive, the way the Chakravaka bird perceives the sun, the way the thieves perceive the sun, the way the owls perceive the sun, the way we human beings perceive the sun, the way a blind man perceives the sun, this is all very, very different. It varies from person to person. But then that sun and the sun's rays is always neutral. It is neutral to everybody uniformly. So Prabhupada is telling, by utilizing the sun's rays, sometimes even stones become valuable. The stones start shining in the presence of sun rays. Whereas a blind man, he cannot see the sun, although there is enough sun rays in front of him. So darkness and light are two opposite conceptions. But this doesn't mean that the sun is partial in distributing the sun's rays. The sun is never ever partial. The sun's rays is open to everybody. But the capacity of the receptacles differ. Every receptacle is different. Every person who's perceiving is different. That's why we are thinking the Lord is being partial or impartial. We are perceiving the sun to be partial or impartial, but actually the sun is not partial. So foolish people, they are thinking devotional service is flattering the Lord to get some special mercy. They are thinking the pure devotees, oh, they are flattering the Lord and they are getting some special mercy. But actually the pure devotees who are engaged in devotional service of the Lord, they are not like merchants having some mercantile transactions with the Lord. He says a mercantile house renders service to someone in exchange for values, but a pure devotee, he just renders service for the pleasure of the Lord. He is not looking for some exchange. Suffering men, needy men, inquisitive persons, philosophers make temporary connections with the Lord with a particular purpose. They have transactions. They go to Tirupati, they put some gold so that their business can increase tenfold. So these are mercantile men. But pure devotees, they are not interested in such things. So one should not think that devotees are trying to have some transaction with the Lord. That's why they are getting special favors. That is not the point. A suffering man, if he is pious at all, prays to the Lord for his recovery. But as soon as the recovery is over, in most cases, he doesn't care to keep any connection with the Lord. But however, the mercy of the Lord is always open to him. He is reluctant to receive it. Once his problem is solved, he is not turning back to the Lord. The Lord is giving mercy still, but he is not interested in the Lord. This is the difference between the pure devotee and the mixed devotee. So those who are completely against the service of the Lord are considered to be in abject darkness. They are not tapping into the mercy of the sunlight at all. They are in true darkness. And those who ask only for the Lord's favor at the time of necessity, they are partial recipients of the mercy of the Lord. But those who are truly engaged in the service of the Lord, the devotees, the unalloyed devotees, they are cent% recipients of the Lord's mercy. Okay, the mercy is coming, but how are you receiving it? That is the point. You can be a partial recipient, you can be a full recipient, or you can be a person who's not receiving anything. It all depends on you. It doesn't depend on the Lord who's giving the mercy, because he's freely giving the mercy. It just depends on how we are interacting with the Lord. So the partiality in receiving the Lord's mercy is relative only to the recipient, and it is not due to partiality of the all-merciful Lord. The Lord is always merciful. He's like the sunshine. He's right there. He's giving it to everyone. It just depends on how we want to perceive it. And when he comes as a human being, it appears that he is partial to the devotees. Despite so much apparent manifestation of partiality, his mercy is actually equally distributed. How? How do we know that? In the battlefield of Kurukshetra, there were so many people who were fighting, and many people died in the fight in the presence of the Lord, and all of them got salvation without the necessity of any qualification. What was their only qualification? They died in the presence of the Lord. So the Lord purifies the soul from the effects of all sins. And the dying man, he gets a place somewhere in the spiritual abode. Somehow or the other, if one puts himself open to the sun rays, he's sure to get benefited by the heat and ultraviolet rays. Similarly, somehow or the other, if you're coming in front of the presence of the Lord, if you're facing that sunshine, like the people in Kurukshetra, somehow or the other, they came in contact, they were in the Lord's presence, and they passed away and they got liberated. So somehow or the other, we should try to contact the Lord, because he is all merciful. Then we will truly be the recipients of mercy. So the conclusion is, Lord is not partial. That's what Kunti Maharani is telling. She's telling he is not partial. It's only your perception. It's because of your perception you're thinking that the Lord is partial or impartial. Actually, it is wrong to think that he is partial. We say, right, the Lord is very merciful to his devotees. He is partial to his devotees. Correct, which is correct. Why? Why is he partial towards his devotees? Because we are trying to access that mercy in a special manner. That's why it appears that the Lord is partial. But actually, the Lord is neutral. He's trying to be neutral to everybody. They only imagine that you are partial. So such a nice realization by Kunti Devi. Yes, Param Pavani, would you like to add or defeat what Kunti Maharani is saying?
No, Mataji, praise to Kunti Maharani. Mataji, I heard one analogy. I forgot who was the lecturer. Probably either Gauranga Darshan Prabhu or Amarendra Prabhu. The analogy was, in Yagya Kunda, the fire is there. So who is sitting near the Yagna Kunda, they are getting more heat. But and who are sitting way far from Yagna Kunda, they are getting less heat. So that doesn't mean that the Yagna Kunda is partial to the people who are sitting near him. Fire is impartial to everyone. Only who is like more close to fire, they are getting more heat. Similarly, Krishna is impartial to everyone, and who loves Krishna more, Krishna loves him like more than other, but Krishna loves everyone.
Yes.
And
Beautiful.
Krishna Mataji.
So beautiful. Such a nice example. Thank you so much, Mataji.
All glories to Vaishnavas and Srila.
Of course, Hari Bol. Yes. So she continues to talk about the bewildering nature of Krishna. Yes, he is neutral to everybody, but the same neutral personalities, sometimes what he does, though he is unborn, he takes birth, and he can even come in different species to interact with all his devotees, and all that he is doing is bewildering. Janma karma cha vishwatman. That is the next verse. Yes, Saudamni Mataji, would you like to add?
Yeah, Mataji, I was thinking that here Kunti Maharani is so clearly she is telling that Krishna is uh, not partial. But again, in the seventh canto, because I was hearing all these talks these days, in seventh canto, Parikshit Maharaj is raising this question. So, why Mataji? Because Parikshit Maharaj heard it in first canto. So,
Oh dear. But he's seeing some live examples. Suddenly, Krishna is punishing Shishupal. Suddenly, he's favoring somebody. It happens, right? We all get confused. We don't remember so much philosophy. We see what is happening in front of our eyes and we question.
so Parikshit Maharaj is giving live examples that you are telling me.
Yes.
Okay, okay, yes, I got it now. Here, Kunti Maharaj is giving only philosophy, and there,
Ah,
Parikshit is citing live examples.
I have examples, and he's seeing and he's questioning on behalf of all of us, of course.
Yeah. Yes, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. So Janma Karma Cha Vishwatman, this Lord, Janma Karma Cha Me Divyam, he already said in Bhagavad Gita. Similarly, Kunti Maharani is telling, Janma Karma Cha Vishwatmam, Ajasya Karturatmanaha, Triyan Rishishu Yadashu Tad Atyanta Vidambanam. Your Vidambanam, you're very bewildering. Of course, it is bewildering, she's saying. It is so bewildering. You're Paramatma, you're Vibhum, you're this, you're that, you're equal. You have so many different qualities, and it is so bewildering, oh soul of the universe. You are the soul of the universe. You are the Atma of the entire universe. Though you're inactive, meaning you're inactive in the sense you're just maintaining everything, though you are inactive, you still take birth. We understand he's the source of the world and he's the witness and whatnot. So these are all qualities of the Lord when he's not coming and performing pastimes here. But she's telling, though you're inactive, what do? You take birth. Though you're the vital force and the unborn. Though you yourself descend among animals, men, sages, and aquatics, verily this is very bewildering. So he says, you yourself descend among animals. It's not that Krishna sent someone else to go among the animals and men and sages and do the job. No, he himself comes. And does he comes only as human being? No, he comes as an animal, he comes as sage, he comes as aquatics, he comes in any form. And this is verily bewildering, she says. So she says, Janma Karma Cha Vishwatman, O soul of the universe, you take birth though you are unborn. The unborn takes birth. Aja, he's called as Aja, meaning he doesn't take birth. But then here he's taking birth, he's coming down. You yourself, who's unborn, you're ready to take birth, not only in human species, you're ready to take birth among animal, men, sages, aquatics, and so on. So Prabhupada says, the pastimes of the Lord, they are vidambanam. Definitely they are bewildering. Not only are they bewildering, but they are also contradictory. So they are apparently contradictory. So the one who's not born, he takes birth. The one who runs doesn't run. One who doesn't have legs runs. So like that, so many contradictory qualities of the Lord is mentioned. In other ways, it is very, very inconceivable for us to understand Krishna's ways. He is the super soul of all living entities, yet he is already present in the heart of every living entities. But then from time to time, he takes incarnations, he appears. Sometimes he comes as a boar, sometimes he comes as Rama or Krishna in the human form. Sometimes he takes birth like a rishi, like Naranarayan Rishi. Sometimes he comes as Matsya Avatar, like a fish. And yet though he is unborn and he has nothing to do, he still has something to do. He comes here and he performs pastimes. So he has manifold energies and everything is performed by him perfectly by automatic knowledge, strength, and activity. So this is the nature of the Lord. So the Lord's activities are inconceivable for our thinking power. Anything is possible for the Supreme Lord. It cannot be understood even by Vedic knowledge. You try to study Vedic literatures and you think you can understand Krishna. It is not possible. Krishna's ways are inconceivable. How can Krishna's ways be understood? It can be only understood by a pure devotee who's intimately related to him. Premanjana Choritha Bhakti Vilochanina. You have to decorate your eyes with the salve of Prema Anjana, Premanjana, with devotion. That is when you can understand the Lord. So the devotees, they understand that though the Lord appears among animals, he himself is not an animal, or he himself is not a man or a rishi or a fish. He is always eternal and transcendental under all circumstances. This is the nature of the Supreme Lord. So now he's going to talk about bewilderment. And so far, if you see in Kunti's prayers, she's going to talk. Sorry, I said he. She's going to talk about the example of bewilderment, of how Krishna's pastimes are bewildering and inconceivable, and he perfectly reconciles all contradictions. So she talks about that with a beautiful example. If you see so far in Kunti's Stuti, she glorified Krishna in various ways. She called Krishna as Vasudeva, son of Vasudeva. She called Krishna as Nanda Gopa Kumara. Okay. She called Krishna as Devaki Nandana. But did she call Yashoda so far? No, she didn't call Yashoda so far. But then she has a very, very special verse, separate verse, dedicated only to Yashoda, who's the topmost of all the Prema Bhaktas in parental love. Okay. So because she is the topmost, Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says, separate verse for her. And Kunti Maharani is talking about how Krishna is so bewildering. Gopya dade tvayi kritagasi damatavad yate dashashu kalinjana sambhramaksham vaktram नीनीय भय भावनाय स्थितस्य सा मां विमोहयति भिरपि यद्बिभेति. Anyone wants to read translation?
My dear king, Yashoda took up a rope to bind, my dear Krishna, Yashoda took up a rope to bind you when you committed an offense, and your perturbed eyes overflooded with tears, which washed the mascara from your eyes. And you were afraid, though fear personified is afraid of you. This sight is bewildering to me.
So Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, he asks the famous question, was Krishna really afraid? And the answer is yes, he was really afraid. He was not acting, he was really afraid. That's why the verse is, and you were afraid, though fear personified is afraid of you. You were really afraid. And this sight is bewildering to me. So when Yashoda, she took up Dama, she took up a rope. And here we have Gopi Adade. What did this Gopi do? Gopi means here it's Yashoda only. Yashoda only did this. And what did she do? She took up a rope, she took up a Dama when you were creating disturbances, when you were doing a lot of mischief, when you were breaking pots. And she took up a rope and she tied you. And what happened at that time? Your eyes were overflowing with ashru, full of tears, and this tears was washing off the anjana, the kajal, and you were so perturbed, sambhrama, very, very perturbed. Your eyes, they were like going like that, very perturbed, and your face and eyes was perturbed. You were looking downwards, and you became very fearful. Why were you fearful? You were fearful of the stick of Yashoda. Were you really fearful? Yes, you were truly fearful. though fear personified is afraid of you. Fearing Krishna, the sun rises. The moon and the sun, they come out in the sky in fear of Krishna, in fear of the Supreme Lord, the Veda state. And fear personified is afraid of Krishna. He listens to Krishna. But then that Krishna was truly afraid seeing the stick of his dearest devotee, Yashodama. So Prabhupada says, here is another example of bewilderment of the pastimes of the Lord. So a specific example of the Lord's acting is given, what he did was given here. So this is nice. I really like this sentence. Here is a specific example of the Lord's being the supreme and at the same time a plaything in the presence of a pure devotee. Look at the way Prabhupada says that. Sometimes the Lord becomes our plaything, especially for pure devotees, eternal associates of the Lord. They are considering Krishna to be their plaything. They take Krishna for granted and they are having fun with Krishna. Like sometimes the Gopas, they are feeding Krishna with their left hand. They are climbing on Krishna's shoulders. There is one Gopa who said, Krishna, I brought a very nice sweet for you. Close your eyes. And then Krishna closed his eyes. And what did that boy do? He picked up a flower and he stuffed it in Krishna's mouth, and everyone started laughing. And Krishna was twisting his face. What is this? And he started spitting. So, like that, sometimes the Lord, he can be the supreme. At the same time, he can become a plaything in the presence of his pure devotee. So the Lord's pure devotee, they are rendering service unto the Lord only out of love, out of pure love. And while discharging this devotional service, he forgets that this is the Supreme Lord. This is the nature of the Brajvasis. This is the nature of Yashoda Maya. We see that Kunti Maharani had Aishwarya mixed. She was seeing him as the Supreme Lord. She was also seeing him as her nephew. She knew, yes, this is my nephew, but he is the Supreme Lord. But look at the love of Yashodama. Yashodama really saw Krishna only as her son. That is all. That's what Prabhupada is explaining. The Lord's pure devotee renders service unto the Lord only out of unalloyed love, nothing else. And while discharging such devotional service, the pure devotee, he or she forgets that this is the Supreme Lord. And in fact, Krishna's nature is that he accepts such love and devotion that is coming out of pure affection even more happily than he would accept service that is coming out of reverential admiration. This is the nature of Krishna. And he's not very happy when people glorify him from the stutis of the Vedas and so on. But then he becomes very happy when Yashoda Maya is scolding him. This is the nature of Krishna. So, the Lord's pastimes in the original abode of Goloka Vrindavan, they are in that spirit. It's in pure affection. Like, for example, the friends of Krishna, they consider Krishna as one of them. They don't give him some special importance. In fact, they're teasing him, they are bullying him, and Krishna is enjoying all of that. The parents of the Lord, they think Krishna is only my baby, and they are not offering him every day morning Purusha Suktam as soon as Krishna wakes up. Krishna comes running, Yashoda Maya, even without bathing him, feeds him, and she's doing all this. She's scolding him, she's twisting his ears, and so on. So, like this, he enjoys these reproaches with so much love, like the reproaches of his fiancés with more palatably than the Vedic hymns. Sometimes Radharani is so angry with him and she punishes him. She also takes a rope and she ties him. And he enjoys all this. He enjoys all this more than the stutis and the Vedas, the great Vedic hymns. So, like this, the pastimes of Vrindavan is an attraction for all the people in general. He displayed a unique picture of subordination before his foster mother Yashoda. That is the pastime that is mentioned in this verse. What did Krishna do in his natural, childish, playful activities that he was doing? He broke a pot of butter that Mother Yashoda had churned, and he broke that pot. He fed that pot of butter to his playmates and the celebrated monkeys of Vrindavan. And he was feeding all the monkeys, and he was creating a lot of problems. He was a problem maker. And Mother Yashoda saw this, and out of pure love, she wanted to punish her transcendental child. She wanted to correct him. She thought, my little son, he's getting very, very naughty. He has to be corrected. So she takes a rope. She threatens the Lord that she would tie him up. And seeing the ropes in the hand of Mother Yashoda, the Lord bowed down his head and he was weeping, and the mascara from his eyes was flowing down. It was washing off and flowing through his cheeks. This picture, this beautiful scene, we all worship this form of Damodar, right? All of us worship. We have him in our altar. Every November season, Damodar month, we are all worshipping this form of the Lord. So this is the vision, not only for Satyavrata Muni, it is also the vision for Mother Kunti. Not only for Mother Kunti, it is the vision for all the practicing devotees in the month of Damodar at least. So this picture of the Lord is adored by Kunti Maharani because she was conscious of the Lord's supreme position. She understands. She was conscious of the supreme position of the Lord, as well as she was appreciative of the mood of Mother Yashoda. She was thinking, he is feared often by fear personified, yet this personality is afraid of his mother. An ordinary mother, an ordinary gopi. She has tied him up. So she could understand Krishna's great position, but Mother Yashoda is much more exalted than Kunti Maharani because for her it was pure love. This is my child. And Prabhupada is telling, if at all Yashoda was conscious of the position of the Lord, she would have hesitated to punish the Lord only because she was made to forget the situation by the Lord. She could have this affectionate dealing with Krishna. So this was a very natural way of affection, and Kunti was bewildered thinking of that. She could do nothing but praise the motherly love of Yashoda Maya. Indirectly, Mother Yashoda is praised for her unique position and love, and because Yashoda could even control the Supreme Lord, who was her beloved child. So Kunti was very appreciative of Yashoda's love for Krishna in this particular prayer. Okay, so she's talking about the inconceivable nature of the Lord. So in the same, okay, actually this 32, 33, 34 is one set. It is actually one set. I don't want to break that set. It is about a different, 32, 33, 34, 35 and 36. 32 to 36 is one set. We have to do it together. So I will not do it now. If I start, then it is like breaking. Kirtana Mataji is still on the call? Okay, maybe she's mute.
No,
So I
no,
will.
yes, I'm here, madam.
Huh?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So you think should I just leave it? I don't want to. It's a continuation, 32 to 36.
Okay, no problem.
Kechidahora Jamjatam, because it's about different reasons why the Lord could have taken birth, and then the real reason she reveals why the Lord takes birth.
Sure, madam.
Okay, then we'll stop here. If you have any questions, we have 5 minutes. If you have any questions, comments, realizations, you can go ahead. Yes, Tulsi Kapi Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji. In the verse number 21, the translation, the word-to-word meaning for just now the one which we read,
31?
31. Sorry, did I say 21? 31.
Okay.
So in the Kritagarsi word, it's mentioning creating disturbance, like being naughty, right? Breaking pots. But in the translation, it's a very heavy word is used, like offense. So is this Prabhupada's translation edited, or is it original translation? I was just wondering, because the Lord never does offenses. It's just pastime. So
This is offense to mother.
okay. Understood.
He's writing that in Vatsalya Ras, okay? So it is offense only.
Okay.
So I can see what Chakravarti Pada has done as well, just to give you another perspective.
Okay.
Yeah. So Chakravarti, yeah, he also says offense. Yes.
Okay.
Directly he says offense. Krithagasi, it is an offense against Mother Yashoda. Of course it is offense.
Mm.
Yeah. Sometimes when the child is doing mischief beyond control, the mother is so agitated. Vaishnava, you've agitated a Vaishnava.
Okay.
Mm.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else?
I mean, I guess those days, if the mother decides to get up to do something, then the standard was to, like the mother or older siblings or elders in the family, when they say or decide or do something, the younger ones are never to throw tantrum or correct them, even if they could be wrong in some ways, or uh, revolt, or things like that. So those days, it definitely, when I think about it, is considered as an offense, that okay, she got up to uh, protect the milk from burning, and she kept Krishna, and I guess he took it as an offense and all that. But actually, those days, the standard for etiquette and behavior was much higher than today. Like, so I
Yeah.
can understand.
Not only that, he was like behaving like a rascal. He was going out of control. So,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
Mataji, I was also
Mhm.
thinking about this word that we have discussed many times, that Krishna is equal to all, and but he's partial to his devotees, and all that. But I really believe that when he specially favors the devotees also, he's not partial, he's just equal. Because a
Equal.
non-devotee kind of if a non-devotee wants material enjoyment and wants distance from Krishna, wants their space and away from Krishna, then Krishna respects that and offers that. So
Exactly.
if a devotee wants nothing other than Krishna, then it wouldn't be fair that Krishna gave them something else. But if Krishna gives 100% pure devotion and taste in their name form, then he is equal to them by reciprocating,
Exactly.
in some ways, like giving them what they deserve, so, or what they desire. And yes, and in the case of gopis, he couldn't even reciprocate. That's a different story. But I feel that it's an aspect of
It's reciprocal.
it's reciprocal. It's an aspect of Krishna's equality in his behavior, that if you're rascal, then you will not get me, and if you want me and nothing else, then I will give you me
You
and
will give. Oh, exactly. So Kunti Maharani is justified. Yeah. Yes, Mataji. Very nice. Yeah, Shyam Gopal Prabhu, you wanted
Mataji,
to.
yeah,
Yeah.
can I also just put some inputs?
Yeah,
I don't know
sure.
if I'm 100% right, but in the case of gopis, he didn't reciprocate. Is not necessarily correct because of one contest in Karnamritam, that Bilvamakala's Karnamritam I was reading, and it is said there that the gopis who came to Raja along with Krishna Avatar, or the gopis he selected. Particularly, there are so many four different types of gopi groups, and he selected because in Rama Avatara, he's promised that for the munis and other people in the next avatar, I will give you a better, because usually he comes with his set of people, and gopis are his own set of people, and even in that 7 million gopis, he chose groups to come here and to enjoy various rasas. That's what that says. That means he's already reciprocated already for choosing them to come here and allow them to show that kind of mercy, that kind of love. So where is the question? When I read that, I was thinking, where is the question of he is not able to repay? It doesn't appear, isn't it, Mataji?
So reciprocation of love is one thing, but he's not able to repay the kind of
That's what
sacrifices.
repayment doesn't come, no, Mataji. Already he has chosen them to come and show itself is the highest mercy. Because there are so many gopis there. But he chose these people only with that reason that they are going to do this to him. So there is the repayment is already done, Mataji, in one
So
sense.
it depends on whose side you're taking. If you're taking Krishna's side, okay. If you're taking Krishna's side, oh, Krishna is important, so he has done everything. No, we are taking the side of the gopis. They did much more than Krishna did.
Okay,
Mataji,
Mataji.
I think like the mood is that not that does not or did not reciprocate, or the mood is that Krishna is feeling the deep feeling that
Incapable.
I am unable to equally reciprocate what you deserve. Like it's not that he didn't, but he is never able to reciprocate equally. That's the Krishna's heightened emotion, and it's between them how they evaluate did you equally reciprocate, and we are not at that level. But for us the sweetness is to see their emotion and spiritual and loving feelings, that how I'm unable to like equally repay or reciprocate. Not that I didn't try, or he did, but he's unable to do full justice. That's what he means.
Yes,
Yes, Mother,
correct.
that's correct. In terms of Bhagavatam, it's okay, but in terms of Karnamritam, it is written in a different angle. So I used to, as I said, Krishna science is most difficult to understand.
Yeah, that's why we don't support Krishna. We support the gopis.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Yes. Kirtida Mataji, you raised your hand.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji. Just want to add what Padmini Mataji was saying. That it's true in one sense, we see that Krishna has already repaid them when he allowed them. But again, Mataji, we have to understand that the love doesn't stop there. The gopis' love, the gopis' sacrifice keeps on increasing. And so Krishna's reciprocation keeps on increasing. But still, the point comes when Krishna feels unable to reciprocate the love of the gopis.
Wow.
So it keeps on increasing. It doesn't stop. Like one time you repay, next time you repay. But again, the love of the gopis, it keeps on increasing so
Supersedes.
much
Yeah.
so that one time comes that Krishna says, Na parayam, that I cannot reciprocate you. I cannot, ye yatha mam prapadyante, that I promised in Bhagavad Gita. Now I cannot do it. So therefore, your glories be your reciprocation.
So your glorious deeds are your reciprocation. Yes, like
So nice, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, yeah. That's what, Mataji. When the more we read, the more we feel these type of things. So I'm sorry if it is out of the scope of this discussion, but it just
No,
crossed me.
not at all. Nothing is out
Thank
of
you,
scope.
thank you,
Krishna consciousness is a
thank you,
very
Mataji.
wide spectrum.
Yes, thank
Yes,
you.
Mataji. When we think of gopis, as Mataji said, whether can we take the side of gopis or Krishna? I don't know.
I mean,
no,
this
that
is
is lighter side, yeah.
I guess the beauty is that Krishna is saying, I am defeated, and he loves to be defeated by that position, that I am defeated by my pure devotees and they are higher than me. That is the most beautiful thing we can
But the philosophy and love doesn't go together, no, Mataji. That's
yes,
what it looks.
Like the Vedas and the philosophy can, like it's explained, Kunti Maharaj, they cannot fully glorify Krishna. So that's the beauty of love. You can never fully express and glorify.
Yeah, so Krishna says the same thing to gopis. You can fully, the love is there, and I am defeated for that love. So philosophy, you can Mimamsa is different from the feelings of love. Okay, so thank you very much, Mataji.
Thank you, dear Mataji. Okay, Shyam Gopal Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you for the class. The way you explained, I think it was really a lot reflected on in this class. So thank you for that. In this reciprocation, I have this question, right? In the chapter 10, there is one verse. I forgot the particular reference number. But there Krishna says that the one who is pure devotee, I take away everything from him. He is his relationship, his health, his whatever is there, which we desire.
Which we think is most important in our life, he will take it away. Yes.
Yeah. So whatever is
Yeah.
important, he will take it away. So in a way, when devotee goes through that, he is not bothered by what is gone, because he thinks that Krishna is taking away to bring me closer to him, purify me, and take me back to the Godhead. But the same thing, if it happens to the non-devotee, he thinks, what this God is doing to me, If he starts just like, he plays, give me, like generally when we used to do, like, we will give you like sawa kilo pedas if, if I pass this exam. So that kind of a quid pro quo kind of a relationship we had before. So those, if they go through that, they will blame the Lord, right? So in a way, when reciprocation by Krishna is there, when we look from our point of view, it looks like he is favoring or not favoring, right? Someone. But when you look at this way, uh, we will not be thinking in that way, right? Means we will not think that he is favoring the devotees in the material terms. That question is that it is just in the eyes of the materialistic person how you look at it. Generally, Lord is just looking at the people who is just giving attention to him to purify him and bring him back to the Godhead. Am I right, or is there any?
Yeah. Yeah, in the purport also once Prabhupada, he has written that when a devotee, when somebody, a neophyte devotee, he specifically addresses Krishna. He specifically comes to Krishna with some material desire. Sometimes Krishna will satisfy that desire just to keep him in the loop. And then he just attracts him, brings him to Krishna consciousness. And then eventually, as the devotee matures, he takes away everything, and still the devotee is steady. So he tries to attract by satisfying the desires. But then there are some people who are actually neutral. They are not identifying Krishna to be their Lord, but they will blame Krishna. Because see, they are not identifying, but then they are not identifying Krishna to be the Lord. Now, so they are not having the direct reciprocation with Krishna. See, there are two things. One is when a devotee, in his initial stages, he's coming to Krishna only. Okay, he understands he is just exposed to Krishna consciousness yesterday or day before yesterday. He knows now I have to worship Krishna. He comes to Krishna with material desires. Krishna will use that bait. He will hook him. He will give him that desire and pull him in. And satisfy his desire. But then eventually, as the devotee is maturing, to increase his faith and love, he'll start taking out all the attachments, and still the devotee will stay. But there are some people who have not necessarily gone to Krishna, who just have an vague conception of God, and they're blaming God. Okay, this desire, I went to temple, I asked for this, this desire was not satisfied. Krishna is not truly, quote unquote, trying to reciprocate with that person. He's neutral only. But that person is blaming Krishna. Actually, Krishna has nothing to do with it.
So what about someone who is like the devotee of, say, Ganesh or
Yeah,
Shiva?
so he can, I mean, Krishna is neutral. But that person chooses to blame Krishna. That's all. It's that you see the Kritadyati story, that Chitraketu's wife, Kritadyati, she was blaming the Lord, but what reciprocation she was having with the Lord? It's easy to blame, she just needs to blame somebody, that's all. It's natural, if there is a higher power, we blame that higher power. We don't even know who that higher power is. We don't have a relationship with that higher power. But when we want to blame someone, he's the best person to blame. Because we say he's controlling everything. Why he couldn't control this? Like that. It's our fault, actually. It's our vision that is wrong. But if you truly want to, if you truly want to reciprocate with him, actually the Lord, he's neutral to such people. He's not even interfering. He's just taking blame. That's all. But if you are a neophyte, if a person is a neophyte devotee trying to get into Krishna consciousness, Krishna, what he does, and still has Mishra Bhakti, he's still requiring something, Krishna will facilitate that. He will start giving some incentives to that person.
So in a way, the way I understand now is that when, like a neophyte, right, when he comes in, he will hook up with by fulfilling his desires. But as he progresses, then Lord is not going to fulfill his desires, because then Lord will chart out his plan, his life,
Yeah.
and he will take away those things which is more dear to him, so he can just think of the Lord.
Krishna, yeah, to intensify his love for Krishna. It
Right,
looks like a
yeah.
master plan. Of course, he is the master planner of this entire universe. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. That was
Hare Krishna.
very good.
And I saw some chat message in the day after that. Sorry, I'm not able to. SB 10888. Which one was this, Prabhu? 10888? Marahari Prabhu?
यस्याहम् अनुगृह्णामि हरिष्ये तद्धनं
Very nice.
And that's the
Sorry.
verse I was quoting, I think. That's the verse I was.
That's the verse you were quoting. Okay, nice. Okay. 10888. Okay, so if there are no other questions, then we can probably end the call. This was the verse, yes. Okay. And we'll meet again on Tuesday, but we'll do those set of verses about why probably Krishna descended to this material world. Different people have different opinions. Okay. Vanchakalpatarubhishcha kripa sindhubhyavcha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.